Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Mercenary Tier 8 Tech Tree Medium Tank, the Cruncher. Now if you did like the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below as it really does help out the channel. And yes, the Cruncher, it is a tank that you usually get through contracts, and it's a tank that's actually had some changes, quite a few changes over the years as it's been introduced. And the latest set of buffs that it actually got was back during May 21st, the season that we got the K1 as the Season Pass tank, I think it was. But yeah, it got some love back then. What happened to it? Well, it got 0.34 accuracy down to 0.31. Its reload time went up from 7 to 7.8, and you might be going, well, that's a nerf, isn't it? But no. Its penetration went from 212 to 220, and its premium stayed the same at 259. But its damage went up from 240 to 280, and that's because it's this 88mm gun, and most of the 88mm guns went up to about 280 alpha, so it got that. And its shot dispersion penalty during rotation went from 0.12 to 0.1, which means that it's just slightly more accurate after turning the turret and stuff like that. So yeah, this tank got some pretty nice buffs, realistically. It means this gun is way more accurate than it used to be, because obviously 0.31 is way better than 0.34. Its reload got slightly worse, but it starts to hit harder with 280, and 280 is way nicer than 240, to be honest. And your penetration is much nicer with that 220. And to be honest, the Cruncher is a pretty decent medium tank. It's not fantastic still, it's just okay. It's not really got that much armor because you've got a TVP turret with a little bit of VTU turret, that is, with a bit of spaced armor slapped around it, but that doesn't really do much for your armor. You've got the Pershing hull, which isn't the best well armored. Occasionally you might get ricochets like you've just seen through the upper hull, which can occasionally ricochet shots, but don't rely on it again. And you can side scrape with it, which can be quite nice. And then you've got the Tiger 1 88mm gun, which is the one that used to have 203 penetration, and over the years, that's what it had when it got first introduced, and over the years it's just been buffed up, so now it went from up to that 220mm of penetration, which is pretty nice on the standard. It means the standard will go through quite a lot of tanks, and if you really are struggling, you can just load the 259 penetration that's on the premium. You'll go through most other vehicles. In terms of the mobility, it's got a 52 km/h top speed with a 20 km/h reverse speed, 14.23 horsepower per ton ratio, meaning that you do get up to the top speed at 52, but you are fairly average in terms of your mobility on this vehicle, and you won't be speeding along anywhere really too quickly. 52 kilometers an hour is fairly average. It's just a fairly average medium tank speed, but it means you're not at the 60 level that some tanks have, but you're not also at the slower levels of 45 to 45 odd that some tanks also have. It just means that it can be a bit of a pain for a vehicle like this that has no real armor for it, that you don't quite have the speed to get to where you want to be sometimes, and then you don't have the best camo in the universe because you've got 308 meters of steel concealment. That's with helping it with the crew as well, which is, again, it's not horrific, but it's also not good, realistically. You can help it out even more if you want to run the camo net, and you'll stay unspotted a little bit easier in this vehicle, but yeah. You got 486 meters of view range, which is decent for a tier 8 medium tank. It means you'll be able to spot for yourself quite well. You now have the 45.61 degrees a second on the turret rotation speed, which is only ever so slightly better than the hull rotation, because the hull rotation is 45 degrees a second, so bear that in mind. 0.69 accuracy during rotation mixed with 1.2 accuracy during movement means, as you can see here, and this is with the gun stabilizer, the gun aim circle very rarely blooms out. It is pretty much always ready to fire, which is a very, very nice thing for the Cruncher. It makes snapshotting in this tank very, very easy, and a rather large asset for the vehicle in general, meaning that this gun is incredibly reliable. It is a very, very, very good gun on this tank. And you've got 5.69 second reload, which is 2.9, nearly 3k DPM, which is also very nice for the Cruncher these days. Better than it used to be, generally. 0.25 accuracy at 100 meters is pretty damn accurate for it, with a 1.75 second aim time, by the way, which means that even though your gun never blooms out, right, your aim circle is always pretty damn small, and with a 1.75 second aim time, it means even when you stop, it takes very little time at all to be fully aimed. And I can't stress enough how beautiful the gun is on the Cruncher. It is very, very nice. I say it can be just a bit of an awkward tank because of the fact that you've got no armor and you aren't the quickest in the universe, but again, you're not the slowest. It's been a bit harsh to it, really. But with having no armor, it can make poking pretty awkward, especially with the accuracy that everyone seems to have these days, that they just snap you and they will go through your turret pretty much most of the time. And I'd say they'll go through your hull most of the time as well. Occasionally, they might just get unlucky and ricochet. You got 220 pen on the standard AP with 259 penetration on the APCR, like we've gone over, which is good penetration. With 1,000 meters a second shell velocity on the standard AP and 1,250 meters a second shell velocity on the APCR, meaning the APCR velocity is very, very nice and will really be very good at shooting targets at distance, as you don't have to give that much lead to be able to hit those targets. And then 10 degrees of gun depression with the Cruncher is also beautiful, meaning that in positions like that and on ridge lines you're incredibly flexible, and having 10 degrees of gun depression is always a major asset for a tank, realistically. So what do I run in terms of a crew and equipment? Well, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanics, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Camouflage Expertise, Silent Driving, Advanced Loader, the Gun Stabilizer, and Optics. Optics to be able to get the 486 meters of view range I've got, so I can try and spot for myself. The Gun Stabilizer to get the accuracy during rotation and movement down as low as possible, mixed in with the Run and Gun and Steady Aim to make the accuracy better by 10% and just on the move by 10%. Again, knocking that accuracy during movement down as low as possible so that the gun is always ready to go. The Advanced Loader to get the fantastic DPM that this thing can get, and the Camouflage Expertise to knock the camo down to 308 meters of still concealment, with the Silent Driving to keep it down to 318 on the move concealment, so I can try and stay a little bit more stealthy while even on the move in this tank. And then I run Track Mechanic instead of Snapshot, because this thing, being a Pershing hull, it likes to get tracked. It gets tracked all the time. As soon as you get shot in the side, your tracks get blown off, which is, it can be a bit frustrating at times with the Cruncher. So something to be mindful of, which is why I run Track Mechanic as opposed to running what I do on some other tanks where I'll drop the Track Mechanic for something like Snapshot. So as you can see with this first game, we've managed 4.1k damage, 1146 assistance, 4 kills, and we're just going to try and get up behind the TD in the medium tank to try and help this TD out. So the Tortoise is a couple of shots. I was going to go get the T-44 because he was a one-shot for me, but he gets shut down. And now the Tortoise is actually starting to turn towards us, but I'm going to try and stop that by tracking him, which we didn't, but we did pen it anyway. And we finished the game with a pretty damn nice total there for the Cruncher on that map, which was Kasserine. And we finish with 4 kills, 4.7k damage, 1146 assistance, ace tanker, the high caliber, with the 2.1k base XP. A very nice game there for the Cruncher on a very nice map for it, realistically. And I mean, you saw the good and the bad of the tank there in a Tier 9 matchup, and that is that the gun is fantastic, DPM's nice, but the moment people start pressuring you, like the ST1 did, like the Tiger 2 did, like the FV4202P did at the start, they can bleed your hit points so fast because this thing just doesn't have the armor to stand up to it, which can be pretty frustrating for the Cruncher, as, yeah, it's just like, oh, yeah, I'm hitting you for 280. Well, that's the thing that's nicer these days, right, is the fact that it has 280 alpha. Back in the day when it had 240 and the penetration was lower and it was derpier, it was a bit more of a pain to get the gun to hit the target. It was a bit more pain in the fact that you felt like you were cutting people and people would have no problem breezing through you and damaging you for quite a lot, and then you felt like you struggled a little bit. Whereas it's something that the Cruncher just doesn't have that bit of a problem anymore. It's just that you've got to be more playing kind of like a CDC, right, where you're on the periphery. You're not in the main field of view of people. You've been that support tank. You've been a bit further back, a bit more second line, trying not to have the focus of attention on you. And when you are trying to support in that way, that's where you're going to get the best out of this tank, because you're going to be able to use the fantastic DPM. It has the very accurate gun, and just start farming away. So we're on the second game. In the second game, we are on Pearl River, and we've come to the position here at K2 and pushed up along the 1-2 line, because this is a good way to go for medium tanks, especially tanks that have decent gun depression, because I can go to K1, go hull down, try and shoot across the 1-2, and if no one really comes this way, we can start shooting into the middle area as well. So we fire at the Tiger 131 who got spotted in a very, well, I wouldn't recommend a Tiger 131 to go there. Let's be real. That's a bad place for a Tiger 131, as he ended up getting shut down. But we got spotted, and that made me go, oh, okay, I got spotted. Don't want to just stick around there then, because, you know, it's one of those things. If you get spotted and your detector keeps going off, don't stick around in the same spot, as, well, you're just going to end up losing a lot of hit points. And especially with this vehicle, if you're detecting and things are looking at you, most of the time, they will pen you, which can be a bit frustrating for you. So we're up to 793 damage, 278 assistance, and we're not seeing anything, we're not spotting anything out, so I know that there's probably something in the bushes in front of us, and in fact there is. It's a T25/2. We get lucky and bounce the medium tank, but we put a shot through the T25/2, and the reason we bounce the medium tank is a 40 TP, which is the tier 6 Polish medium tank. We get shot in the side by the Iron Rain, which is a sad time, because that was a lot of hit points to lose in one shot. But if we can get a gun out of the game in this 40 TP, great. There we go, 40 TP gone. I know that I should reload in time to get a shot into this T25/2 before he ends up putting a shot into us. But we completely muck up the shot. He now YOLOs forward, gets a shot into us. I put a shot into him, and hopefully we high roll, because we can high roll and kill this guy in one shot. Go for that drive wheel. We do put it in, and I know that I can get back before he reloads. Now, if he decides to push me, if I just put a shot through the front of his turret, we should be able to finish him off, and that's what having the DPM advantage over a tank like the tier 7 tank destroyer there is quite useful. So we poke over, and the moment I poked over, I instantly got detected, and that made me go, okay, no Iron Rain, I don't want it, because the Iron Rain can now kill me in one shot, which is a bit awkward again. Don't want that. We're at 2,088 damage. We're not having too bad of a game so far. We get spotted the moment we go around, and it's an Iron Rain. Oh my goodness me. We put HE through his turret. He's still coming. I'm like, oh no. Put another HE round through the turret. 365. It's like, Mr. Iron Rain, don't do it. Please, team. Get him. Murder him. Oh, it's fine. I'll do it. As we finish off the Iron Rain there. I did not expect the Iron Rain to be just driving around that corner. We did take a hit from the guy that I'm pinging there, which put us down to a one-shot for him as well. But that Iron Rain was scary. It was like, oh no, this is my death. Thankfully, he missed on the move, which is something he should do, because he's got terrible accuracy during movement and rotation on that tank, meaning that he shouldn't hit us on the move, because his aim circle is massive. But yeah, we got very, very fortunate. But the HE rounds, that's where the HE rounds came in clutch, because we've got 45 penetration on those HE rounds, meaning we can't pen very much at all with that. But when it gets to an Iron Rain and they've got basically no armor, the 370 damage you have on those HE rounds is a godsend. And it's very, very nice, as you just saw us absolutely eviscerate all of his hit points. So I'm moving up into this bush location on this ridgeline. I'm trying to see if I can find the enemy team. 316, that's a really nice roll there on the King Tiger. Hoping to finish him off, as we can just see his back end. And we get rid of that German tier 8 premium heavy tank. We're up to 3.5k damage and 501 assistance, and it's fairly even at the minute. It's 7-6. 4 kills, so we're doing okay. And now I've got 192 hit points. I just can't push. I just don't have the hit points to push. I need to wait. So the G-Saw gets spotted because he pokes out. He ended up finishing off the 3001D. And now my point here is that G-Saw just will kill me easily. So I have to wait for him to make the mistakes. I have to wait for him to poke out in this bush. So I'm just watching the bush and I'm going, there we go. The moment we got detected and spotted, or the moment we got spotted in general, I knew he would have pulled into that bush, and we end up putting the shot in, because I fired just as he got spotted there. Something else fires at us from in the distance, probably at a position like D5-6, and that made me go, oh, what was that? And it's a VK 3001D. So we put a shot through the side of the 3001D, and you see I'm being exceptionally careful. The moment I fired, I pulled straight back. It didn't matter whether I was getting spotted or not there. We were pulling straight back, because I don't want to die at this point. I know that 3001D can pen me, but he won't kill me in one shot, so I'm not too worried about that. And then we see the medium tank pressuring our medium tank behind us. It's a KV-13, and again, the KV-13 won't kill me in one shot. But if I can keep my Easy 8 alive, that'd be great, because he could spot for us if he wanted to. So we put a shot through the side of the KV-13, helping our friends out, and he's gone. The 3002D? I assume that's the second 3002D, because I don't, unless he got there super duper quickly, I don't think it'll be the same one. He ends up getting shot down by the Sturm Tiger P, and we're just looking to see if we can find where the rest of the enemy vehicles are. We know the G-Saw was there. There we go. They're spotted up. So I know that they're no longer in a position where they could possibly shoot me. But again, got to be very, very careful at this point. There is 3 tanks left. Medium tank in our base that's being closed down by a medium tank and a heavy tank. The G-Saw here. And the other medium tank that we don't quite know where he is. So I'm watching the bush. I'm like, go on then, G-Saw. Get in that bush. I will shoot you if you poke out that bush again. And I'm just waiting to think, should I blind fire? Is it like he can't see me, even though... There we go, we get spotted. The instantaneous moment we got spotted. That's what we were waiting for. Because we get spotted, I knew that it must have been him pulling into that bush. Because I didn't think anything else would be able to spot me from anywhere. And even if we missed, we'd have still missed, right? It wouldn't have mattered. But we blind fired the bush, and we managed to pen that G-Saw blind, which makes him think twice about poking in that bush. And also, you know, makes it so that we're whittling his hit points down ever so slightly. So we tried to pop a blind shot there, a very bad blind shot, whatever is in the distance, because when we got spotted by that G-Saw, we were still detected, even though we pulled behind the ridgeline, and that made me think, oh, there's something still over there, and there is the 3001D. There was 2 in this game. So the 3001D is in a position I can't quite get a shot at yet. He is down in the dip, and with where our Sturm Tiger P is at the minute, I'm starting to think, that G-Saw is going to be getting tempted. Right? Surely. So we're just going to wait to cover our platoon mate here to see if we can get rid of the G-Saw. There we go. He pokes out, put a shot through the side of the G-Saw, open him to get the reload in before he pulls back. There we go. Thankfully, we shut down the G-Saw there. Finish off the game with a really nice total. Finish with the victory. 5 kills, 5,020 damage, 1,962 base XP. A really great game there for the Cruncher, which is a pretty just average medium tank at tier 8. It's a pretty okay tank. You can it struggles in certain situations, but it also can be fairly capable in others. And, well, that's just a fairly well-balanced tank, if we're honest. So, yeah, that's the Cruncher. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success.